Alright, welcome back. We've dropped in against a Comstar Lance, a bit of a jungle biome here, and we have something new. We're taking Slapdash in a replacement for that Axeman, because the Axeman was really sort of running out of usefulness for us. Instead, we've dropped in our new Santa's Sled, Goliath Santa's Sled, uh, and we're going to give that quadruped mech style a bit of a try. Um, so we don't currently have eyes on the Op 4, but that's alright. We'll be moving up uh, as we usually do cohesively in a group before spreading out. We do now have eyes on something, just a matter of what. And that's our move for the whole turn, so we'll get more intelligence on it next time. Let's see. So there's a 60 tonner over there. That's the only thing I see, but this was a 4 skull drop. We can't yet do 5 for the Federated Sons, who we're currently working for because our reputation with them is not high enough. I want to see if they'll move closer to me. It looks like that mech has chosen to just instead brace and I guess expect the worst. So let's see if we can take our Nova up here and get a decent position. Okay, so I need better sensors on my mechs because with the proper equipment, we'd be able to see this mech here, but we can't. Not right yet, anyway. So we'll go ahead and get a sensor lock. That's a Royal Ostrock. Okay. Royal mechs tend to be used mostly by Comstar these days. They are sort of like halfway between Lost Tech and not, so many of them feature double heat sinks, like this one does. Double heat sink kit. Decent engines, standard engine on this guy, so core 300. A little bit lightly armed there, but actually a fair amount of free space on that mech. I'm impressed. So what we'll do is we'll prepare. So, ooh, we can get rear shots. Ooh. Okay, well, I was going to reserve some of our fire, but rear shots get rid of the 20% damage mitigation from brace, I think. Might need more cover, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, we have wonderful accuracy here with the standards. We don't with the HEs, so we'll stick with the standards. And you know what? Let's go ahead and pop the Battle Lord, just because if we can take off one of these side torsos, which is possible, we might be able to make this fight a bit easier. We land the large. Oh, that right there. That right there is the way to start a fight. And somehow we still got 4 salvageable parts on it, even though we did basically get an engine crit through the back end of that mech. A little bit confusing in that regard, but for some reason these Thanatos mechs always look like dragons to me. I think it's just the center part has that sort of boxy nature to it, but the arms are different, at least when we have a bit of odd armaments on them. This guy carries a lot of MRMs that you won't usually see on a dragon, suffice to say. So we'll say we're done with him. We'll move up with the Ostrock. Unfortunately, still no targets. We need another sensor lock. We might be able to get one, but I think it'll be a bit too far away. Let's give it a try. Bomb squad. Yeah. That faint blue glow is the edge of our sensor lock range. So we'll call that done there. Move up the Atlas as far as we can. And the Santa's sled as well. Now, this guy carries a bit of a weird armament. I'm not sure I'm entirely satisfied with it. We also, I think we did give him a supercharger to increase his walk distance. It doesn't help with the run distance, but it does help with the walk. This guy has quad small pulses, quad ER mediums, and an ER large that was originally a PPC. But I took it off to save a little bit of weight so I could up armor and put in that supercharger, which I think is worth it. Now, that mech also, I believe, has a quirk that gives increased kick and potentially punch damage. So that's why we've put Slapdash in it, because Slapdash is built for melee. And our goal here is to make use of everything that's on that turret anything on the torsos has the torso turret can fire in any direction. It doesn't have to have the proper facing, like you would with a standard biped mech. So we're hoping to try to use that to our advantage with basically securing very deadly rear arc shots and rear arc close-up kicks. So we have a shot. If I switch this to the long bracket, it is still too far away, but we could get the streaks firing at the Rural Ostwar. Thing is, that Rural Ostwar has 60% damage mitigation, which makes it a spectacularly bad target at the moment. So we can either strip off 2 evasion on the Ostal, or try to identify and get rid of evasion on this Mystery 60-tonner. And I'm going to go for the Mystery 60-tonner because more intelligence is always a good thing, and unfortunately that mech also has 60% damage mitigation, so probably not an ideal target for us right now. We have 2 choices. We can go along the ridge, or we could go down to meet them in the valley, and we're going to actually split and do both. For one, we outnumber them. I'm bringing 7 mechs this time, not the full 8 that we can field, because we're actually running into some weight limits at the moment. Probably should have moved this guy later on, because these MRMs are very good at crit seeking, but as it is, we'll take that precision strike and at least wear down armor in most places with those MRMs. So yeah, lots of scattering. Not really my most effective shot ever, but that's alright. I think we'll be fine regardless. I don't like that firing position without better accuracy. If we go up here, we'll be slowing down, bringing this Atlas to bear. Although we could have him go up. He does have the LRM-20s. Yeah, let's have him go up here. This brings us in range for LRM-20s, which again have shortened range, as opposed to the tabletop rules for clan weapons that actually gives them longer range. Here they're balanced for shorter, which I think is probably a good change. Otherwise, if they can shoot longer range brackets, higher damage, and you can mitigate the higher heat with better heat sinks, where's the downside? Where's the balance, right? So at least this gives non-clan armaments a chance. Let's go ahead and load in with the improved heavy Gauss, the ER large, and we'll stay with the AoE because there are 3 mechs clustered tightly together, so we can potentially do some good work here. And that is kind of what I expected as well. 40% damage mitigation was enough to prevent an armor blow-through on that Oststall, so it's not really like we lost much there either. Now, we take the Marauder up. Yeah. So, our plasma rifles now should be able to get at least 1 armor blow-through on this mech, and we can follow that up. Yeah, it looks like exposed either arm, yeah, arm, could be better. We can follow that up with the Timberwolf, and the ATM-9s with the standard rounds should be able to get us something here. We're going to not precision strike on this one. I want to save it till we can get the SRM-6 clans online. We missed with the ER large, and the ATM-9s are not able to take off that arm, unfortunately. Probably should have moved up with the Ostrock first. If we could land a tag, that would help us a lot, which of course we do. So, a couple mistakes on this one. Not my cleanest work, as it were. But let's go ahead and keep moving up the Santa Sled. I'm hoping we can bring those ER mediums online now. We can't. Not quite. What we can do is we can pop defensive formation from Slapdash. Now, our entire lance has 20% damage mitigation regardless of location. We land the large laser at least, ripping off that Ostal's left arm. And this isn't bad for, the first turn or two. I'm hoping that they drop reinforcements. Because I do like the meat grinder missions. Maybe more than my pilots would enjoy. But I enjoy it. So, double larges it looks like, pinging in Timberwolf and missing. Could be worse. Could be worse. So we can continue up in this way. We'll get a height advantage that will give us some very nice accuracy on those mechs down in the valley. If we take a look in at exactly the magnitude of this height advantage, it's -4 difficulty to shot because of the height difference, which they'll get a +4 because of the relative height distance firing back, which is very nice. And let's pound in with these plasma rifles again. They're not the best damage dealers, and they're fine, but the split with heat damage really is a bit of a specialized tool. On the plus side, this mech now is overheating, ripped to shreds basically. Its effectiveness has been decently wiped out for the moment. So we'll reserve down. I want them to come a little bit closer toward us. And I also want those mechs with a 60% damage resistance to lose that, so we can start pounding into them with better effectiveness. Quick Draw still catching 40%, and I'd be surprised if the Royal Ostwar doesn't manage a similar thing, but even 40% versus 20% will be much more ammunition efficient on taking these mechs down. So let's move up with the Santa Sled. We don't get all that much of a benefit from sprinting, but really the additional move is to make it so that we can kick at a longer range, right? Because if you're only within range of a sprint for melee, you can only charge. So we need to be within range of a walk in order to land punches, kicks, things like that. Now we can bring the ER mediums and ER large online. We will do a precision strike just to try to bring this mech down all that much harder. It does look like we get the right leg and enough damage to travel through to that CT. So that mech is down, which means 2 Comstar mechs already down. Double PPCs coming in and missing. Good evasion on the Santa Sled. We put a bigger engine in it than the stock in order to really push that movement up as high as possible. And if we move up here to sprint, yes, the sprint is bad. Yes, the recoil from the improved heavy Gauss is bad for accuracy as well. But that height difference is really proving to be quite nice. So height difference -5 on the quick draw. A little bit worse on that Warhammer back there, and we don't have enough for precision strike. So instead, we will shoot in with this quick draw. We'll change the art for ammunition on this guy because the AoEs don't have as much usefulness against him at the moment. We were able to open up, I think, that right arm. Yep, right arm's open. But unfortunately not able to quite take it off. So, I mean, that 40% damage mitigation is, I think, what saved that arm. The Royal Ostwar getting some good attempted knocks in. And now we can move up. Let's go. Let's just bear right down on them. So, charging into Comstar because we know no fear. I'd say for the Emperor, but this isn't 40k, so there is no Emperor that we're working for at the moment. Champion 3P, primitive, really. Fielded by Comstar. That is a little odd. Okay, maybe it's not a primitive. Usually that P marking means it's a primitive mech, but primitive mechs don't tend to have Ultra AC 10s. So I'm wondering if there's something else going on here. It is, in fact, a double heatsink variant of the champion. Oh, I would like to salvage that mech. I love champions. If I had to choose one mech to make an entire lance out of, it would probably be the champion. Unfortunately, I don't have the best tools for taking mechs alive these days. Our Marauder tends to cause ammunition explosions, which isn't exactly good for a pilot, well, a mech's longevity, and we deal enough damage now that it's hard to really truly panic them out without dealing enough damage to blow through parts of that mech. We need 4 pieces in order to bring it online at all, so what we can do is we can at least take the other things off the board first, then see where that leaves us for that champion. And it's maybe not the best idea in terms of taking the most guns off the field, because that Ultra AC 10 is a threat. I don't love my positioning options for this Timberwolf, but this one will have to do for right now. This is not maybe the best option because that champion is a good mech, but it's the one that will maximize our salvage chances. So it's pounded into the quick draw. And that quick draw is absolutely wrecked. You know what I'm thinking? We might be able to get decent panic on the champion without causing a lot of damage by hitting him with those AoE LRM shells. Yes, they'll scatter a lot of damage around the entire mech, but at least then it'll be scattered. It won't be dedicated all in one spot, dealing a ton of damage out. So I want to bring the medium BSPLs online. The range brackets on these things are not ideal. We could get an amazing shot down the champion, but again, I've just said I don't really want to do that. Where can we get a good jump to? Okay, so we can jump down. That's fine. That will potentially bring us in range here. It does with the Royal Ostwar. It does slightly worse shot on the Warhammer, but worse damage mitigation on the Warhammer by 40%. Precise Strike brings all of our hit percentages up to really wonderful chances. And we pound in there, even landing with the Streak SRMs, which is quite nice. So I'm happy with that volley. I mean, look at all of that armor damage to a 70-ton heavy mech. One of the ones that tends to run heavier armor, even in the default configuration, although I'm not sure I know the 7M configuration that well, but still. I'm happy with that. We'll move up here to sprints, and we'll pound into the Warhammer again. Trying to capitalize on that damaged left torso. If we can land there, we might be able to rip it off. I think we'll need 2 hits to get it, though. That's exposed. We might have exposed the CT. No, just both torsos. Yeah, a second hit to that left torso would have ripped it off, but only 4 shots. Frontal firing arc is not exactly the most reliable for that, so we'll jump up here. We will take another side shot with everything we've got. I want to see if we can get the mediums online. We're burning up a little bit here, so since these deal more damage than the Clan ER mediums, we'll take that off. And that's torso gone, arm gone. Warhammer's just melting through. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay. Royal Ostwar moving up, returning fire with the Nova, landing 1, 2, 3 large lasers as well as some missiles. 4 evasion pips, just not proving to be quite enough protection there. But they were each in a different location, so at least we didn't get an armor blow through. A bit lucky on our part. Might sound a bit strange after I said we just taken 3 shots, but hey, we're still alive. That's good enough for me right now. We'll reserve down. I want to let that champion move. He might fire into the Nova, which would be about the worst case scenario for us right now. And he does. Thankfully missing with the UAC-10s. Actually missing with his full complement, so not bad. Once we take everything else off the board, what we're going to do is we're going to basically fire 1 gun at him at a time with everything. Try and just apply as much pressure from him getting shot from all directions as possible. Try to get that pilot to panic out. So this should take down the Warhammer, is my guess. Yep. Yeah, a little bit of overkill there too. I think we got him when we killed the other torso, probably an ammo explosion. I'm not quite sure where he had his ammunition stored, but that's what it looked like to me anyway. And let's bring the Timberwolf up and around. We could Battle Lord here. Try to fight some of the Royal Ostwar's damage mitigation. That seems like a decent idea. So let's do that. We're firing the HEs, we're firing 3 SRM-6s and the ER large. Let's see what we can do. Fair number of misses on the SRM-6s, which rhymes more than I had intended. But we do land decent damage in. This mech still works best as a flanking mech, but can't always manage that. We should have come in with the Ostwar really, again, first for the tag. I need to get better at doing that. When I had this thing decked out with double tag, I was better at it. But unfortunately, not anymore. But the C3 Master gives us benefits to our entire lance, so it's worth it. I just need to get back used to really using it in its proper role. The Santa Sled is proving a little bit slow for its intended role. We might have to strip off a couple more of these guns if we want to make it really a sprinter. I'll take a look at that. Maybe not between the next couple missions, because I think I wanted to do a couple in a row here on the same planet, but certainly soon. So we will start now putting pressure on that champion. So we're going to fire in, turn off one of those, switch to the AoE. We have 4 volleys we can do this with, and we'll Do a precision strike just to slow him down and moving on 4. And this is just to start freaking out that pilot just a little bit. Let's see, how can we best finish off Royal Ostwar? I'm thinking this should be a good use of our guns. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, loss of heat there. What else is moving on 8? We have Skyros and the Nova. We do need to move the Nova up and out of the way. If I could avoid the champion having a shot on him, I think I would do it. That works for right now. So we get 4 evasion from the jump. Get a nice side shot here on this Royal Ostwar. Unfortunately, okay, so we can fire in medium VSPLs at long. But that's only 15 damage each, so we'll turn off one of those to save some heat, and we will Precise Strike to slow down the Ostwar to moving on initiative 3. Okay, Streak SRM's doing most of our damage potential there. And we need to take this mech offline so we can start pinging in at that champion. So what we'll do is we'll prove what I said on the last round, that this mech is best as a flanking mech. Come around here, deny the champion a shot at us. At the same time, get a rear shot on the Royal Ostwar, firing in with those HE missiles, and this should bore right through him. It does not. I sit corrected. We do get a knockdown. If we panic out this pilot, but not the one on the champion, I will be, well, I'll laugh, but would not be thrilled. So what we'll do, we could open up at the champion here, or we could try to finish off the Royal Ostwar. I don't think our Ostrak has enough firepower to do that. So we'll turn off everything but the 1 medium pulse, and we'll shoot at this guy again, just to keep up that pressure, start making him feel a little bit uncomfortable, staying in that mech. If we can, we'll try to fire in mostly with missiles so we can scatter damage around, and we're playing a bit of a dangerous game here, because if he gets good shots in with that UAC-10, in 1 turn he can take off a component potentially on some of our lighter armored mechs, which is not exactly something that we want. Let's reserve down to 3, because I want the Santa sled coming in. And what can we do here? So we got the Santa sled in. We will shoot in at that leg. We rip it off, and engine destroyed. So damage traveled up from the leg to that, I believe, torso first, or it might have gone, I don't know. We overkilled that mech, and it's off the field. That's all we need to know. So now we still have left the Thanatos, and we still have left an Announcer. We're a little bit close to this guy to fire with the AoE without taking damage ourselves. And the Santa sled might take a little bit, it does. But it's worth it to start freaking out that champion. Unfortunately, he's not showing any sort of pressure as of yet. Maybe we can get a nice light rear shot on him. I'm not trying to bore through him with this. All I'm trying to do is panic. So what does the least damage? Probably the ER medium. We'll turn off everything else. Going to Precision Strike to slow him down, moving on to 3. Take 1 shot in. He's not even worried, which makes me worried because I thought that he would be worried. So okay, we can provide a little bit of heat. Don't want to go in with all of these unless I really should get the equipment on this guy that lets me do targeted strikes. But this will be good enough right now. Unless we miss completely. We had a 99.9% chance to land that hit, and we missed completely. Just my luck, I suppose. Let's wait, and wait a little bit more. That's moving on 4. We can come up to the side here and slow you down to 2. Firing with 2 medium pulses is going a little bit slowly for my taste. He's just cool as a cucumber, isn't he? Okay, we can move up here. Let's stress you out a bit. LM-20 at the side. Structure exposed. Exactly what I didn't want to have happen, because we do need to preserve all 4 pieces of salvage from this guy. So let's go up. Let's turn on the standards instead of the HE. Actually, you know what? Let's fire with the 2 SRM-6s. We'll precision strike again to slow him down to moving on 1. Try and go into that undamaged leg. We do get some of that. And we've still not seen a single indication of stress on this pilot, which is really kind of impressive. I'd be freaking out at this point. Completely surrounded by an enemy lance that just killed my entire team. Yeah, that would not make me feel happy with my life. So we'll go with just the LRM-20 Arc 4. If we rip off that arm, that happens. We do take out some components, but we don't rip it off completely. Yeah, okay, fine. You know what? I'm going to kick you, sir. And follow up with 2 smalls, nothing else. Nope, I didn't want to go on that side. Oh, I thought I had gone in on the other side. Don't rip off the arm, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so we get another actuator. Okay, now he's finally feeling a little bit stressed. God, good job. All we have left is the Nova. Let's see. Hopefully he'll move. We can try. If I kick him on the other side, we might be able to get him on stability damage. Nope, because he just lost most of it from moving. So let's come over here with the Nova. And let's shoot just the Streak SRM-4. Maybe it's more effective to just do a true alpha strike on him to panic him, and I just wasn't aware of that, but man, I don't like this. We don't have anything in range that can kick him before his turn either. We use the precision strike from the Marauder. Do I have one? Okay, I have one on the Nova. So we'll fire in with that Streak SRM-4 again. Still no other indications of stress. We can slow down to 5. The Ostrock will come in and give a kick, along with double medium laser to follow up. Right leg destroyed. Okay, so now we're basically guaranteed to not get full salvage from this mech. Beginning to regret this. Oh wait, hold on. Pilot bleeding out, 3 activations remaining. Okay. There we go. That's all we needed. We are going to make like a banana and split right away from this guy, and we're going to let him bleed out on his own time, because I don't want to damage that mech anymore, because if I do, I'm pretty sure that I will end up killing it. So, goodbye. Enjoy bleeding out slowly on the battlefield. A little bit vindictive. We still might only get 3 because we did destroy that leg, but 3 is better than 1. We only took this mission for, I think, 312, 313 salvage. So even if we got 4, we wouldn't necessarily be able to take all 4. We would have had to rely on luck for that. We did get 4 at one of the other mechs earlier, but I'm less interested in that mech. No, let's leave this guy up here as our Atlas can take a beating. So if he wants to be an attractive target for the AC-10, so much the better. A little bit gamey here, but that's alright with me. We'll brace where we can, make this go quick. He does indeed shoot at the Atlas. Again, works for me. Only lands one of the Ultra AC-10s, either, sorry, 2, so that really could be worse. Going to move away, maintain F-facing where he can't get a nice, juicy rear shot on us there. And we'll get fully out of the way with the Timberwolf. So on the next turn we can just brace him, which will speed things up a little bit. And we'll come down here, do the same sort of hide this mech with the Thanatos. Not bad. Slapdash moving into Santa's sled. We'll run down here into the water and also present the front facing. We'll also pop the defensive formation just in case he does get a lucky shot. And we'll just brace the Atlas again. Please just stand in there and keep shooting at it. That'll make my day. I'm going to let you take your shot. Okay, he does fire into the Ostrak this time. Should still be bleeding out. And there he goes. Good, good. So that's the mission. I'll see if we can pull up a champion for our next match. If you don't see it, it's because we only got 3 pieces. But thank you guys for hanging around.
Mission successful.